What's cracking, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. New video. Today I want to talk about something that, in my opinion, it's probably one of the worst punishments or one of the worst things to go through within the California Department of Corrections. Potty watch. It's called potty watch. Potty watch is when the cops receive information that you're in possession of something, some sort of contraband, and you're in possession of it internally, right? I was placed on potty watch one time. I may have told this story before. I don't remember, but I'm going to tell it again today, if I did. So, I was in New Folsom. It was the second time I was in New Folsom. And when I was slinging dope in prison, I almost never ever had dope on me. I had 2 to 3 different cells that I would have them hold for me. And more than likely my cellie would hold for me too. Even when I was on the yard, I wouldn't take stuff out there. I was yard crew. Somebody would talk to me about something. I would have somebody out there on the yard holding for me. They would drop it off to the person, right? Tell him, hey, homeboy will go, he'll get at you right now or whatever, right? And it was because of potty watch and the position that I held on the yard. People that are usually placed in the leadership positions on the yard, the only time you're supposed to get off on the yard is if something personal comes up or there's a riot. Your job, your responsibility is maintaining that yard, right? So, like I said, I wouldn't hold. It was my dope, but I had it in other places. It's the cat and mouse game in there. Cops are always trying to do their measures, and then we're trying to countermeasure and vice versa, right? So one day, the cops pull up to my door, tell me to cuff up, right? So I cuff up. They took me down to medical. And they told me that they were placing me on potty watch. And I told them immediately, take me to x-ray. We don't got to do potty watch. Just take me to x-ray and x-ray my stomach. Oh, nah, we're not going to do that, this and that. So we went back and forth on that. They weren't budging. So what they do is they strip you out. You got to do a strip out first, right? Then they hand you your boxers back. You put them on. They tape them. They tape the waistband and the legs. Then they give you a second pair of boxers. And you put that on backwards so that you can't get into the hole in the front of the boxers. They tape them up at the waist and the legs. Then they hand you a jumpsuit. You put the jumpsuit on regularly. They tape that at the waist and the legs. Then they hand you another jumpsuit that you're going to put on backwards. Again, they tape the waist and the legs. Then they put a chain around your stomach, your midsection. And then that chain has handcuffs on it. Once you're handcuffed, they get little miniature padlocks. And they padlock your wrist to your waist so that you don't have any kind of leeway. And they put you in the cell. And you're going to sit in that cell with a cop sitting right at the door. And you're going to sit there until you shit for them 3 different times. I remember that when I went on potty watch, there was an outbreak of MRSA, the staph infection that's resistant to most antibiotics, right? And they didn't even give me a mattress. I was laying on the steel. And I wound up getting MRSA on the back of my head and in my left armpit, right? From laying on that concrete. On laying on that steel. And when you're on potty watch, that's when you actually eat the best, because they want to make sure that you defecate for them. So if guys are, if it's a French toast day, and usually you get 3 slices of French toast, you're going to get 6 to 8 slices. Whatever the meal is, you're going to get way more than everyone else, because they want you to flush out whatever they think you have in you, right? It's very hard to sleep. If your nose itches, just imagine being chained up, taped up, and someone just sitting at the door staring at you the whole time. When I was on potty watch, there was a guy in the cell next to me. So the cop was actually, they were supposed to put one on each cell. They put one in the middle of the cell so he could see both of us. And, you're sitting there, and the guy next to you, or the guy next to me was trying to converse with me, make small talk. I was pissed because I knew I didn't have anything on me, but I had an idea, right? So the first day I was there, I ate, didn't have to use the bathroom. But I also knew the cop that was posted on us, I knew he wasn't going to fall for it. I already had a plan immediately, right? And the next day, there was an officer, and I knew I can get this guy. And I remember when he came on, he said, "Hey man, look guys, I'm not trying to dig through nobody's shit today. Do me a favor and just wait for the shift to be over." That was when I knew I got him. So I knew I had to use the bathroom, right? And I knew what I was gonna do. I was gonna cut it into 3. So I told him, "Hey man, I gotta use the bathroom." He's like, "Come on, man, you can't hold it." I said, "Nah, I can't hold it. I gotta use the bathroom." He's like, "Fuck, all right." And when you're on potty watch, what happens is he lets the sergeant know, "Hey, this guy's ready to go to the bathroom." Sergeant comes in. The cop that's posted, that's assigned to potty watch, he's there, and there's usually 1 or 2 more officers that come in. They bring in a chair that has a toilet seat on it. There's no toilet. They slide a bucket underneath that. That's got a plastic bag in it, lining. They uncuff you. Everybody in there is just staring at you. You get butt naked. You sit on that chair in front of 4 grown-ass men and the convict in the cell next to you. You're not in the cell. They bring you out so they can be around you. And they watch you sit down and take a shit in a bucket. Watch you wipe your ass. It's degrading. Imagine being assigned to that job. So I did. I went to the bathroom. And I remember them saying, "Oh, this ain't even enough, man. You're playing games." I said, "Nah. Nope. That's how I shit. How you gonna dictate the way I shit?" So the sergeant was like, "Fuck it, use it." So they tied the bag up. And that cop is smashing shit in a bag, trying to find a balloon, a weapon, whatever. That was his job assignment that day. I waited about 3 hours. I said, hey, man, I got shit again. He was like, hell nah, man. You got to wait. I said, I don't got to wait. Call the sergeant. Tell him I got a shit. Same routine. Uncuff me. Strip me out. I shit again. Mind you, I only have one regular, and I'm cutting it. Like, let a little bit, boom, okay, boom, I'm done. That's all I got. And again, that ain't enough. You can't tell me how the hell to shit. And there goes the cop again. Pinching a bag full of shit. Well, it's not a bag full, but pinching shit through a bag. What do you think I did right before shift change? Yup. Hey, man, I got a shit. So I sat in potty watch for 2 days. I had to come out and sit down in front of 4 different grown-ass men, butt naked, shit in a bucket. Because someone on the yard said that I had something. Which I did, but never on me. I caught a serious infection, I told you, in 2 places. The back of my head and the left armpit. And I remember they were trying to move me. I was in 3 building at the time. They were trying to tell me I was going to 4 building. I said, nope. No, I'm not. I said, that's what's not going to happen. They said, well, we assigned somebody to your cell. I said, nah, you're going to assign somebody to wherever you're trying to move me. And the reason why is because my cell phone, I needed to get back to my cell, get on my cell phone and handle some business. So we had a little standoff over that. But they broke it down. I went right back to my cell and got right back to business. This is why I tell people, I was just talking to somebody the other day. One of their family members wants to be a correctional officer or a cop or something, he was telling me. And he asked me for advice. I said, just understand that if you do wind up going to the CDC, you are not a crime fighter. You will never stop anything. Everything that they want to do, they are going to do. Your job is to pick up the pieces after. Scoop up the body. Get it to medical. Then take your ass back home to your wife and your children and have a great life. Prison is a horrible place to be. My channel, this channel, is about expressing that to you. Anybody that thinks being a gangster is fun, let me tell you something. You'll get to prison and then you'll meet real gangsters. And then probably decide, shit, I don't want to be like that. So why not just save yourself the headaches? Focus on family. Focus on bettering yourself. Focus on a career. And do the right thing. That's my video for today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Everybody, please be safe, be smart, and tell the ones you love that you love them, man. I'm out of here.